for now, let's focus on the concept of drawing human figures in interior. So as always, I really love to start with framing the space of my future sketch. So let's say we'll have a nice interior of a restaurant here. Next step is I usually put my horizon line here, and it's very useful, especially for drawing standing figures. I will explain this concept in a couple of minutes. So let's say that we have a beautiful, beautiful interior. Let's quickly sketch it. By the way, I think I'll take another pen. Like this is a regular one. And then we have probably here something like a bar area, area for bar. We have a couple of tables here on the foreground and on the background. So some basic shapes of our interior. We are building them at the very early stages of our sketch. So I will not focus too much on all the beauty of this interior. As I told you, the biggest concept is how to draw people here, because literally, guys, I got asked this question really so often that I even done a tutorial on it, so you can check some very basics on my YouTube, Olga888. I recorded a whole series or a whole video on the topic already. Next step, let's place a couple of tables here. So let's say we have a series of tables in this restaurant. So we will have the opportunity to draw a lot of people here. So we have these lovely tables. And yes, we are ready to rock and roll with all these people. So let's start with people on the very background, because here we can draw really schematically. It's very important to locate the head of your standing figure on the horizon line, HL, horizon line. Why? Because usually this is the line, our line as a viewer, so it's exactly the line where our eyes are located. So the eyes of other persons will be located exactly here as well. Next, it's very important for you to realize where you want to put the full feet of your figure. So let's say it's here, and then you can draw really quickly and schematically this figure on the background. Plus it is so far away from us, so we can draw very basic shapes, like maybe legs. We don't go into very much detail. So this figure, let's say it's standing. The second one, maybe he will be going like in the direction of these tables. Maybe he's holding something with food and drinks. Okay, and now I want to show you the very concept like of human body proportions. So in interior design drawing, it's really important to understand the proportions of the human figure, so it will be so much easier for you to break it down into simple shapes. So let's say this is the entire height of our person, and now I want to split this entire segment into 8 equal segments. So first I divide it in half, then each half in halves, and then each segment in half. So you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 segments, and that's what I call an 8 heads technique. So each segment, it's kind of a head. So the first will be all about head. Then at the very midpoint, right? So this is the midpoint. So these two segments are equal. Here it's usually perineum that's located, like the very center of the body. And here is we have the torso and arms, hands, right? And here at the bottom we have his feet. So this figure, it's a man's figure. There are some differences of men's and women's bodies. So if this is a perineum, he will have his waistline somewhere over here, like 3 heads below, somewhere here between third and fourth segment. And we can simply draw like a trapezium form here. We can draw his legs very, very schematically. So it's really quick sketch, understanding like the basic proportions. Let's say that he has his hands in the pockets, or if it's a straight arm, it will usually be somewhere between 4th and 5th segments. So it will be usually somewhere here with his arm. And let's quickly touch the differences between woman's figure. So she will also have like a head located, like again 8 heads technique, but her shoulders will be a little bit more narrow in comparison to man's body. Plus her perineum, yes, it will be located exactly almost exactly the same level, like the very midpoint, but her waistline will be a little bit higher. So ladies, we naturally have longer legs, so this is really great. So her legs will be longer. Her arms, let's say maybe one of her arms is located here, the other one is free. So her shoulders will be a little bit more narrow. Then her rib cage will be also not as spacious, not as big as a man's. And if you want to show that this is a woman, maybe in your sketch, maybe you can add something like a skirt or something like that. So this is a very quick breakdown of proportions. Now going back to our drawing. Here we already have a couple of standing figures, right? Let's add maybe a figure of guy at the bar. So this is the bar, and actually we will see only his upper part. So he is actually standing a little bit closer to us. That's why his head will be a little bit bigger. So basically we will see only his upper part of the body, his shoulders. Plus, since he is closer to our eyes, we can see a little bit more details that he has in comparison with all those guys at the background. Next, maybe we can go further and draw another guy here on the very, very front, on the very foreground, right? So his head will be also located on the horizon line. This is like the very this is the thing that I really want you to remember. So all our heads of all our standing people will be located on the same horizon line. Next, we can add some details, but please don't go into too much details here, you guys, because we are drawing interior. So the main focus of our drawing is interior design. It's not people, but of course I understand that people add so much more life to the drawing, so it's really great to know how to sketch them. Plus they add this sense of scale to the objects, like tables and plants. Let's say that he has his hands like that, bent in the hand. So sometimes we have all these beautiful, say, plant pots, and without people we don't understand their size exactly. Yes, here we have tables, so more or less we can understand how big are these plant pots. But when we add people, so let's add a couple of chairs maybe here, and yes, we will draw maybe a lady on the foreground here, or maybe it's a gentleman. Please notice here that his head is under the horizon line. Why is that happening? Because imagine the same distance, but here people are sitting and talking to each other. Of course, because they are sitting, their heads will be lower compared to standing figures. Okay, I hope that clarifies everything. That's why here we'll have his head located below the horizon line. Maybe here we have a man sitting as well, so this is like a view from the back. So maybe we will add just a little bit of details. We can add a chair here. So you guys, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. At the end of this live stream I will answer them. So maybe we can enliven the sketch even more by putting some plates, some drinks over there to enliven, right? Plus here we'll see his legs. It's also important not to focus too much attention on all the garment details, just very basics. Next here, let's say we have a girl sitting. We can quickly show her hairstyle, like very simple, very quickly. Maybe she's holding a glass in her hands. So you see, when you understand all these proportions, you can play with figures. If you find it really hard for you to draw figures in different motions, I want you to start very simple. Like you go for very basic shapes, like a skeleton. Actually, it's not even a skeleton, it's like a basic structure for human body. So if he's sitting, right, his legs will be bent in the knees, maybe his or her arms will be laying like that. So you want to draw your figure in different kind of motions, maybe running. So very basic shapes, like something really simple. Go for ellipses. Maybe you can show her rib cage as a simply ellipse. So when you master these basic elements, you can simply switch to drawing more sophisticated figures. Okay. All right, so let me finalize this drawing. Maybe I'll add some more figures.